Today we're doing a quick review of inequalities, and we're also going a little bit further. So we have the absolute value of 3x minus 9 plus 6 is greater than 12. Before we set this up and try to solve it, we need to think about getting the absolute value by itself first. So, no, I don't want that. Your first step is going to be to isolate the absolute value. So what do we need to do to get rid of that plus 6? Subtract 6. So the absolute value of 3x minus 9 is greater than 6. Once you have the absolute value by itself, now you think about what do I need to do to set up the next step? Is it an or an and? This is a great or. I'm going to write that maybe right here. Great or. So our first inequality is 3x minus 9 is greater than 6, exactly as it was, or 3x minus 9 is less than negative 6. The general feeling of my class is that once we get it to this point, solving both of them and graphing them is a-okay. If you are struggling with that, please let me know during work time or during Wildcat Hour. I will help you with that step on. But right now, let's practice. I don't know what just happened. I think it's still recording. Sorry if you're watching this video and you're like totally confused right now, because I am too. Okay, we're back. So if you were actually doing this example fully, you would need to solve this one, and then graph your solution. Let's look at the next one. What do you think we would need to do first? Add 8. And that would give us the absolute value of x plus 13 is less than or equal to negative 1. Anytime you're dealing with absolute value, and you see a negative number over here, you need to stop and think about the scenario. So I like to think of it as the result of this absolute value is going to be a positive number. And over here we have a negative number. Is it possible for a positive to be less than a negative? No, a positive is always bigger than a negative, so our answer here is no solutions. I would like you to get to a point where you're not trying to memorize less than a negative means no solutions, greater than a negative means many solutions. I want you to get to a point where you can think about what does that absolute value mean? Can a positive number be smaller than a negative number? No, so that means no solutions. All right, the next one. What would you do first? Add 7. So 3 times the absolute value of x plus 1 is less than 6. We would have to divide by 3. When you divide the left side by 3, all it does is cancel that 3 out. Absolute value of x plus 1 is less than 2. Once you get the absolute value by itself, think about how should we set this up. This is a less and than. So this is an and inequality. That's the 3-part inequality. Negative 2 less than x plus 1 less than positive 2. Solve that 3-part inequality and then graph your solution. On your assignment today, you are also going to see, maybe we should do this one at the bottom. I think this was a good one too. What should we do on this last one? Subtract 8. And then divide by 2. So absolute value of 4x minus 2 is greater than negative 4. I see a negative here, so we need to stop and think about it. Absolute value gives us a positive number. Negative 4 is a negative number. Are positive numbers bigger than negative numbers? Yes, always. So our answer is all real numbers. On your assignment today, you are also going to be given some inequalities that do not have absolute value. So if you see 2x plus 4 is greater than or equal to -7, do you see how in this one there's no absolute value? So then the negatives are fine. You just subtract 4 on both sides, divide by 2, get your solution. Negatives are not a problem when there isn't absolute value. I'm also going to give you some problems like this. Sure. If its absolute value equals, you need to isolate the absolute value and then set up two separate equations. So don't forget about setting up two separate equations when its absolute value equals and solving both of those. And then sometimes you might have to check your solutions. So check your solutions in the original problem. Your assignment today is apparently a black screen. That's cool. 1.7 worksheet number 3. So go to the website, find today's date, click on that link. There are some paper copies in the basket by my desk. This worksheet is double-sided. So numbers 1 through 7 are basically reviewing what we did today and on Friday. Number 8 and 9 are just compound inequalities. Notice there's no absolute value, so you're just solving those like normal. Negatives aren't a problem. If you multiply or divide by a negative, you still have to switch the sign. 10 and 11, and then 12 through 14, those are absolute value equations. That's where you have to set up two equations and solve both. And then there's a couple of multiple choice at the end. So get to work on that. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to work together, compare answers, all that good stuff.